Help for parents of stressed, anxious, or self-harming children. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're able to join us on this journey to help families heal. Are you a parent struggling to deal with a sad, suffering child? Does your child have anxiety, depression, self-harming behaviors? Do they question their self-worth? Watching a child suffer is excruciating. Perhaps you've tried talking to them but feel like you can't get through, almost like there is a wall between you and your child. Does it seem like everything you say is taken the wrong way? Do you feel like your life has been hijacked by a fear of your child's reaction? We all want what is best for our children. Unfortunately, children who are unhappy, depressed, and anxious are at an increased risk for drug addiction, suicide, and early death. Suicides in our adolescents are up an alarming rate and continue to rise. Maybe you've tried or are working with a therapist or doctor. Perhaps you're just getting started on this journey and aren't sure where to look for answers. If you are a parent or caregiver looking for help, this video is for you. I'm Dr. Shannon Smith, and I'm a pediatrician in a wonderful town that also happens to be the heroin overdose capital of the United States. Over the past 15 years, I've helped thousands of families deal with their children's stress, anxiety, and self-harming behaviors. During this time, so many children have shared with me they felt unhappy, stupid, bad, worthless, or worse. Despite not having all the answers, I began working with families because I knew that I'd had to try to help. What I discovered is that there are answers, techniques to try, ways to increase our chances of raising resilient, happy children who know how to use their talents to add value to the world, which dramatically reduces their risk. Although we can't change anyone else, we as parents and caregivers have the ability to influence them. As a pediatrician and mother, I've created a system to improve every child's chance of having a promising future. This powerful system is the Focus Mindset. It is based off the most up-to-date understanding of how the brain functions. The Focus Mindset gives parents and caregivers a predictable system to dramatically improve their family's chance of happiness, resilience, and a valuable future. I'm so happy to share with you that what I've learned from years of working with families, research, and interviews is that there is hope, a lot of hope. With so much negativity around us, it can be difficult to see because negativity sells. Our brains are drawn to look for threats. The news is a business, always trying to get our attention. Where our focus goes, advertising dollars follow. And because of this, the vast majority of people don't realize that the world is getting better. And not just a little better, but a lot better. Despite the suicide risk increasing, so many other aspects of our lives have dramatically improved. This graph shows a massive drop in the murder rate over the past 700 years. We live during the safest and most prosperous time that humans have ever known. More people have access to clean water, electricity, education, and freedoms than ever before. We are living during an incredible time. Humans live longer than ever before. Humans have been around for hundreds of thousands of years. Even as recently as 2,000 years ago, most people were dying at age 18. Even 100 years ago, people only made it to an average age of 50. Now, our average life expectancy is around 80. We are living longer and better than ever before. So why don't most of us realize how much better life is getting, and why does it matter? Humans have been around, like I said, for over 100,000 years. The majority of their time on Earth has been dedicated to meeting their basic needs. Every day we are faced with a choice of what to do with our time. This pyramid depicts Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, which represents what motivates humans starting from the bottom to the top. The base shows our basic needs in purple and green: air, water, food, clothing, shelter, and safety. Without those, we can't begin to think of anything else higher on the pyramid. Above the basic needs are our psychological needs. Then, at the pyramid's very top, is the need to achieve one's full potential. This is where focus can be directed to help people feel valuable and fulfilled. Our ability to focus our energy towards any goal that we choose is within our grasp more than ever before. Any information to help humans survive and meet their needs more efficiently was prized. In order to attempt to improve their family's chances of survival, people traveled treacherous routes over incredible distances. During the thousands of years that humans have survived, only recently has our species had the ability to communicate without physically being there. Throughout history, information was limited and therefore in demand and valuable. In order to share information, humans had to physically travel from one place to another. Then they started using smoke signals, carrier pigeons, Morse code, mail carriers, landlines, and now a device in our pocket instantaneously sending and receiving information anywhere in the world. In order to learn something new, humans have always had the ability to experiment and try it themselves, many times risking their lives to learn. Since humans are an incredibly efficient species, they began searching for ways to gain more information quickly by finding mentors. Then a few monasteries and cathedrals were built to gather information into one place. Then universities were created to make learning more convenient and easy to obtain. Now it's all available on the phone in your pocket. Our brains crave information. We are grabbing little pieces of it everywhere. Never before have we been surrounded by so much information. With all this information, most of our brains still view it as a limited resource and are trying to gather as much as we can. And most of us are drowning in information and don't understand why. There is so much information known, and at every moment so much more being discovered, that it's impossible for anyone to know everything, not even close. Despite our brains being amazing processors, the default setting of our brains has been set for a completely different time. Our brains are constantly taking in an immense amount of information and trying to assess it in order to improve our chances of survival and reproduction. This default setting of the human brain has kept our species alive. When people believe the world is getting worse, they have difficulty seeing the incredible opportunities all around them. They give up, not realizing how much closer we are than ever before to achieving anything we can dream up. For most of humanity, the brain in our time was dedicated to meeting our basic needs. Today, life-changing opportunities surround us because of our incredible freedoms and instantaneous access to information. Unfortunately, when we don't know how to process this much information, it leads to devastating consequences. Anxiety disorders affect 1 out of 4 children between the ages of 13 to 18. This increases a child's chance of performing poorly in school, missing out socially, engaging in substance abuse, and these children are more likely to self-harm and commit suicide. In the midst of all these incredible technological and social advances, not knowing how to focus is a leading cause of society's anxiety, depression, and suicide epidemic. Our minds are still using outdated programming, looking for constant threats around us, while taking in a stream of unfocused information. As we said before, suicides in our children are rising at an alarming rate. How real is the problem? Every 2 hours, one person under the age of 25 commits suicide. Every day there are 11 youth suicides. Drug overdose deaths are up an incredible amount as well. Not knowing where to put our focus leads to this disturbing trend of rising drug overdose deaths in one of the wealthiest and most prosperous countries in the world. These trends I've shown you are worrisome, but I'm here to share with you the amazing news that there are techniques to improve our children's chances of not being part of these statistics. As I said before, this group of techniques is called the focus mindset. The focus mindset allows us to direct our lives in a manner similar to how a video gaming controller directs an avatar in the direction of the player's choice. Understanding what this remote controls and how to use it is the key to happiness, resilience, and a promising future. It might sound obvious that it would be useful to have the ability to direct our lives in the direction we choose. What most of us don't realize is that taking command of our lives starts with recognizing how little we control. The truth is, when most of us become parents, we still haven't realized how to direct our own lives. Many of us feel beat down or demoralized by our child's sadness and behaviors. Even parents who do succeed in numerous ways may not know how to help their child understand how to take command of their lives. As a parent, you may live in constant fear about how your child's life will turn out. For many parents, this is the reality they face. They fear they are watching their child's chance of a promising future dwindle. This is crushing. Depression, anxiety, sadness can take many forms, including isolation, cutting, burning, hair pulling, sexting, substance abuse, and other self-harming behaviors. As a parent, we can feel guilty, sad, and helpless, like we don't have control over our own lives. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you exactly how myself and many families that I've worked with have created a predictable system to improve our chances of a promising future. I'm also going to share with you the biggest mistake most parents and caregivers are making when dealing with struggling children. The two things that families can do today to dramatically improve their child's future, and a simple, proven 4-step system that will create a framework for overcoming challenges. I've used this system with predictability to help many families heal and thrive. I am committed to helping as many families as I can. I want every family that I work with to be incredibly successful. A family's success is my success. I've noticed that a family's chance of being successful is dramatically increased if they are dedicated to creating a framework in their lives for a promising future, and if they're open to enjoying the process. So if you're a parent looking to help your child increase their chance of happiness, resilience, and a promising future, then you are definitely in the right place. The best thing about using the focus mindset is that it is a predictable system that helps everyone willing to put in the work starting immediately. The techniques can be applied to situations throughout one's entire life, and the focus mindset is based on tested and proven results. You may have noticed that people tend to fall into one of two categories. Struggling, people who can't seem to get ahead. The problems seem to surround them. They struggle to understand why this is happening to them and usually feel the situation is outside of their control. And overcoming, people who are thriving, grateful, and appear to have great lives. Everything seems to work out for them. Some seem almost bulletproof, becoming stronger regardless of their struggles. The truth is that everyone has problems. The question then becomes, why do some people drown in difficulties while others thrive? After talking to thousands of parents and caregivers and children, I've realized that the overcomers have techniques they use while the strugglers do not. And the truth is that if you use these techniques, this simple and predictable system will dramatically increase the chance of your family creating happiness, resilience, and a promising future. Only parents and families with a predictable system for taking command of their lives can say, when I focus, my life moves in the exact direction that I choose. I am inspired daily by families who have shared their gratitude for the focus mindset through reviews like the following. One mother said, "Thank you for teaching our family how to make measurable changes to add value and happiness to our lives. We are incredibly grateful." Another shared, "Our family has been transformed by the focus mindset. I can't say enough good things." I want all families to thrive. My goal is to add massive value to families and to the world. Technology is coming at us so quickly. Instead of allowing technology to use us, we have the ability to make it work for us. As I said before, the best way I've found to help children overcome stress, anxiety, and self-harming behaviors is through this analogy to technology. We can direct our lives the same way a video gaming controller can be used to play a video game. Understanding how any remote works helps to play the game. Realizing that our video game controller only has 3 buttons is key to directing our lives, because the only 3 things we have complete control over are our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. Most people, myself included, have allowed other people to push their buttons and have tried to push other people's buttons. Choosing to focus on our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, and realizing we are only guessing at the meaning of others' words and actions allows us to take control of our lives. I usually explain this to patients by asking them how they would feel if me, as their doctor, would walk in the room and say something rude. The patient usually looks up at me a little skeptical and tells me they would be upset. Then I ask if a small child who could barely walk wobbled into the room and said the same words that I had said. I ask them, "How would you feel now?" They usually smile and start to understand that we are much more in charge of interpreting others' words and actions than we realize. The harsh truth for most is that sadness, anxiety, and self-harming behaviors stem from 2 things: not knowing where and how to direct our lives, and not understanding how to focus to obtain one skill at a time in line with our goals. In other words, people don't know how to use their remote, leaving them without the ability to direct their own lives. In order to control and direct our lives, understanding how the brain processes information is useful. Comparing my brain to an electronic device helps me to understand how both allow information to flow through in order to create a result. Both an electronic device and our brains require energy. Input is received in an electronic device through touchscreens, keyboards, controllers, or a mouse. Then input is processed through an app or program, causing an action, then a result. Our brains also start with energy, then use input from our senses, which is processed through the knowledge we have, also called skills and beliefs, which cause an action, which then creates our reality. So, if our reality is not what we want, we have the ability to download new skills or knowledge easier than ever before because of the immense amount of information at our disposal. We all know when and how to download an app to our phone, but how do we know when and how to download information into our brains in order to update our skills? And only the specific skills needed to meet our goals. We can download new information or skills when our lives aren't going in the direction we want, but first, we need to know where we want to go. We have to create a defined goal. After creating this goal, we can download or learn whatever is needed to achieve the goal. What I never understood is that learning isn't subjective, like you can or can't learn something. Anyone can learn anything they choose. Most of us think that we learn on a linear curve that looks like a straight line going up like this graph. And therefore, we expect ourselves to have much bigger and larger jumps when we are first learning something than we do. This is why most of us incorrectly say we can't do something or we tried it and we're just horrible at something else. In reality, the curve to learning looks much more like this. As parents, we've seen this curve in action. A child doesn't start rolling till around 4 months, then crawling until about 6 to 8 months. Then shortly after that, they are cruising, walking, then running. From barely moving to a full-blown sprint. This is called an exponential curve. Very little progress occurs in the beginning of the curve, then it shoots upward. And the only way to move up this curve is to try different things and to make mistakes, falling down many times. In other words, the only way up this curve is to fail up it. This curve can even be seen with top performers throughout the world. Do you think that Beyoncé started out at the level she's at now? Beyoncé's performances are also on an exponential curve. Even now, after her concerts, she reviews the videos to find areas of improvement for herself and others to keep moving up the curve. Practice makes progress. Anyone can learn anything they choose up an exponential curve, starting with very small changes. To better understand learning, when we compare our brain to the electronic device, we can see that there is a similar process to meet a goal. An electronic device, after we download an app, in the electronic device, after we download an app, if it doesn't meet the need we hoped it did, then we would just look for another app. Our device isn't broken, just another app is needed. In the same way, if our brain doesn't have the current skill, instead of blaming ourselves, stop. Make sure the skill is needed to meet our goal. Then use the focused mindset to download the skill needed to create any reality we choose. This quote from a pioneer in psychology says, "One of the most significant findings in psychology in the past 20 years is that an individual can choose the way they think." So what I'm telling you is that we have the ability to self-program based on our goals. And for the first time in history, we have instantaneous access to information and the freedom to take action, creating whatever we can dream up. This is success. Choosing a goal, following a process to obtain it. This is the focus mindset. Consider pausing for a moment and letting the next point really sink in, because it's the exact opposite of what society has been telling us. Today's society focuses on shame and blame, tries to get us to push buttons not on our gaming controller, views failure in an unproductive way, and pushes multitasking and busyness instead of focus and value. Most parents are focusing on items and things that won't add long-lasting value to their families' lives. They are trying to prepare their families for a future using yesterday's techniques. Remember how I told you that the overcomers have two things in their families that the strugglers don't? The two things needed for success are setting defined goals and using a proven system of techniques to overcome obstacles by focusing on solutions to make goals a reality. Because it comes down to this: if we don't have a system to deal with obstacles and difficulties in life, then we will not be able to predictably grow and become stronger from challenges that will arise. Now let's get down to business and show you exactly how you can use the focused mindset to implement a predictable system for overcoming difficulties to dramatically increase your child's chance of happiness, resilience, and a promising future today. The biggest mistakes parents are making when dealing with anxious, sad, or self-harming children are viewing these actions with judgment or seeing these behaviors for anything more than they are, a coping skill with a low likelihood of improving their chance of a promising future. Other mistakes are not seeking out a system to help communicate with their child and define goals, or not seeking out help for themselves. The only four things that matter are setting goals, focusing on a limited number of those goals, taking measurable action towards those goals, and assessing, making small changes, and repeating. If you are not making the progress you want right now with your child, please let me ask you this. What questions are you asking your child to help them better understand themselves and their goals? Are you and your family's goals clearly defined and regularly discussed? If your goals are reviewed regularly, then please share with me. What have you done to take action towards those goals with a focused, measurable method? These questions can be difficult, but they are a great place to start adding value to your family. As a parent, it is very easy to get distracted by new shiny objects in the chaos of life. But the reality is, setting goals, focusing, taking directed action, reassessing are the only four things that matter. Families who are thriving and overcoming are using this process. Families using this process not only survive obstacles and difficulties, but thrive because of life's challenges. Having a predictable process to deal with stress and anxiety creates happiness, resilience, and a promising future. Using the focused mindset allows us to achieve any dream that we choose. When we are young, we are told to dream big, then life happens. I'm here to share with you that anything is within our reach using this method because of the incredible technological and social advances available today. Life doesn't have to feel like such a struggle or that we need magic to get our lives back on track. The focused mindset is the process your child can use to direct their lives in any direction they choose, creating happiness, resilience, and a promising future. Cracking the code only takes these 4 steps. Once these line up, creating the reality we choose is as simple as opening a lock. I hope everyone is able to unlock the code for their family. When families that I've worked with are thriving, I know that we've found the code to unlock happiness. One patient's parents wrote me to say that her child no longer hides in her room after school since learning the focused mindset. She is vibrant and happy. We have our daughter back. Another said, your program not only helped our son, but transformed our entire family. We now communicate without judgment and anger. In order to receive results like these, you must have the right process. It has taken me years to create a process to help families achieve their desired results in the shortest time possible. I have no doubt that with enough time, patience, and persistence, your family has the ability to achieve similar results on their own. Going at this yourself means trying 10,000 different possible combinations. Therefore, the results you desire could take years or even a lifetime to achieve. Unfortunately, time with our children is limited. Through this 8-week course, I want to help every family unlock this code as quickly as possible. If you want a predictable system to help your child take command of their life, creating happiness, resilience, and a promising future, I'm offering you a chance to become the next parent or caregiver to work with me. This class is for parents and caregivers who are committed to helping their suffering child while adding incredible value to their family. It is for those who have tried different methods without consistent results. Parents and caregivers who know they can add value to their family with the right tools to stop the cycle of stress, anxiety, and self-harm. For those who are willing to work hard for a great outcome. It is also for parents and caregivers who understand they need to have some skin in the game. Working with me is not cheap, but the benefit of working with me far exceeds the cost of not investing in your child's future, guaranteed. This class is not for people who want an easy fix, who make excuses and complain, people who are stuck in the information gathering mode and are not prepared to take action and get results. This is not for people who aren't serious about dramatically adding value to their families' lives. I'm offering you a free, no obligation, personal, custom tailored one-on-one call with you and me. This is where we start to figure out what you want for your family and how to make it happen in the fastest time possible. The better the fit, the better the results. There are some people I may not be able to help, but there are many others that I can. I'm only looking for families who make a great fit, so it's time to take action. Complete the application for a free one-on-one, personally tailored strategy session between you and me. This application is necessary so I can determine if I'm the best person to help you and your family and whether or not we can generate life-changing, transformational results. It is also necessary so I can make sure you are ready to step up, commit, and take the action necessary to generate your desired results. Once I receive your application, you will be able to schedule a time for our strategy session. At the end of the call, 2 of the following things will happen. We will either determine that you are a right fit and I will extend an invitation to work with me, or if it's not a good fit, that is completely okay. There will be no hard feelings. I want everyone who receives a powerful strategy session to walk away with newfound clarity as to where you are right now and to what is holding you back from achieving the results you want for you and your family. That, along with the next steps to take action and break through barriers, will most likely be the most valuable 40 minutes that you invest in yourself this year. So go ahead and complete your application right now, and we'll see if we are a right fit to work together. Many people apply to work with me each week, so this is an extremely limited opportunity. I only have a few spots left to work one-on-one with me because of the intensity I pour into each client in order to provide them with the best results. Like I said before, I only work with clients if I believe I can get them the results they are looking for. What I have found is that those who take decisive action to make a change are those who are most likely to get incredible results. The sooner you implement the focused mindset into your family's life, the sooner you break your child's cycle of sadness. If you feel this is right for you, then take action. Apply, then follow the instructions on the next page. I'm excited to add incredible value to your family.